Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today, as this is a Monday podcast episode where we discuss a specific astrological topic or theme. And today we're going to discuss the energetics of the lunar cycle resetting itself in July 2024. We are going to have two Capricorn full moons that reestablish the natural flow of the lunar cycle. And here's what I mean by that. So on June 22nd, 2024, we had a Capricorn full moon at 1 degree. Then 2 weeks later, as is typical, we have a Cancer new moon at 14 degrees of Cancer on July 5th. Then another 2 weeks later, on July 21st, we have our second Capricorn full moon at 29 degrees. And this is where we now return to a natural harmony in the lunar cycle, how it unfolds, how it's naturally designed to progress throughout the month. And that's because we've been in a lunar reversal cycle since March 2023. A lunar reversal is when the full moon precedes the new moon, when instead of having the new moon go first, it's reverse, where the full moon happens and then the new moon occurs. So if you were to look back on your own natural ebb and flow of energies since March and April 2023, it could have felt like with the full moon happening first, there was always something big or emotional, or like you were always riding these waves, surfing these waves of energy that led you to the new moon, which would have been the calm gathering together of the energy, understanding what happened, and then determining what to do next. During the lunar reversal cycle that we've been in, it could have felt like you were on defense, that you were a bit more reactionary instead of proactive, that perhaps you always had to be responding to something instead of the natural flow of something building up. Essentially, we are returning to more of the organic, harmonious relationship with the lunar cycle starting in July 2024, and it will last until September 2025. So it will be in its natural cycle for about 14 months. And this is going to support us in being in higher alignment with the energies of the moon and how the lunar cycle is designed to unfold. Now, when we look at this energy and tap into the wisdom of the lunar cycle, it shows us how every month we are guided to set an intention with the new moon. The new moon being, of course, when the sun and the moon are conjunct, and together they are co-creating a new cycle that will unfold over the next 28 to 29 days until we have the next new moon. So as the lunar cycle reset occurs, you could feel that you are coming into higher alignment, even natural alignment with your own manifestation process again, where if you have felt like some things have been backwards, upside down, almost like you can't get your groove on, you can't flow with it, it could be because the lunar reversal cycle that we've been in has created a need to clean things up first, has been illuminating what the full moon brings to your attention, and then gives you tasks and things to close out before arriving at the new moon. All of this could have felt like you were always needing to take care of something, that there was not enough downtime, and that you weren't in that natural state of flowing with your manifestations. Now, as we return to the organic lunar cycle, there is energy here that's going to reset you and is asking you to release anything that you've been holding, especially in that lunar container. Anything that you've even had to guard yourself against, or feel like you had to always be prepared or ready for what happens next. One thing about the lunar energy is that it can be quite unpredictable, and it could have felt like you had to be ready for various things to happen, for various things to show up, and it can put us in a very primal state where we're unconsciously operating from our survival tendencies instead of being more in our trusting tendencies of knowing that we can handle what shows up and we can trust the natural ebb and flow of life, which is naturally designed to support us. So this lunar cycle reset is going to help you relax. You could feel like as we move through July 2024, that things are now easier, that there's a sense of, okay, this actually makes more sense, or this just feels better because now I'm not having to be on guard or be fixing everything. And that's something that could have been an unconscious pattern, is that you were always taking care of a mess or cleaning something up. Now, with the lunar cycle returning to its organic state, you can watch as the energy builds. You can experience that wave and its crest as any surfer would, where you're able to ride the waves because now we are returning to a sense of this is how it actually feels better. This actually allows me to work with the energies from a more trusting place. Now, lunar energies relate to our most personal selves. And when the lunar cycle is reset, where we experience that new moon followed by the full moon, there is a part of you that is going to feel like your daily life is more natural and more intuitive, where you could feel like, okay, now I can really tap into the energies that I'm feeling are arriving, what I'm picking up on. Perhaps I'm no longer distracted or pulled out of what I would prefer my intuitive awareness to focus on and connect with. This can also allow you to relax easier. And there is deep wisdom in the lunar cycle because of how innately we are connected to the moon, not only at a personal physical level, with most of our body being composed of water, but also how it affects the earth and the gravitational forces that are part of the innate dance between the earth and the moon. So there could be something here where you feel like I no longer have to force things. I can be more allowing and more trusting, and your body is going to feel that. You're going to even feel a difference in maybe what you've been holding. For example, if you've been unconsciously holding water weight, if you haven't known what to do with your emotions or your feelings, if you've developed some unhappy coping mechanisms that you haven't been able to get a handle on, this could potentially help you see the bigger picture and understand what you've been working with that has not been part of your natural state. I also feel like this reset of the lunar cycle is going to help us feel more in charge of our physical selves, feel like we are working more personally with an energy that we haven't been able to grasp. So if you feel like your body has been holding a lot of energy, you might notice it falls away or it drops off during this lunar cycle reset. You might notice that you also release more, whether that is through emotions or tears, whether you feel more openness around whatever you've been unconsciously holding. Because I'm seeing this as a tightening of the energy, almost like an intense contraction or grasp that hasn't been able to fully release because we've been guarding ourselves against, well, what happens next since the full moon's coming, or because the lunar cycle is out of whack. We haven't been able to release certain parts of ourselves. And I think that's what's going to open up next. I feel this flow returning and opening into letting things go that you were unconsciously trying to manage or control. And because the moon is so personal, and because of how the moon ebbs and flows on a daily basis, you might feel that energy shift in yourself as you show up in a new way on a daily basis, meaning our energies are going to feel like they can finally exhale and relax and trust our own journey more. Because the moon can be so primal, we also have unconscious attachments that we can be working through, that we have a new angle on finally. Like you're going to see something differently, whether that's in your emotional nature, your emotional body, maybe even a fear or something that you've been afraid to let it go or let it breathe. The moon is designed for release, and there could be something here that you're now willing to trust it on a much deeper level of your being. And that's going to be a really big theme here, especially throughout July 2024. But as the lunar cycle returns to its normal state, you're going to want to intentionally trust yourself more and relax into a beautiful sense of ease. And this could be unconscious at first. This could be something that slowly picks up, or that you realize you're recalibrating yourself to trust on a deeper level, to exhale. And as I say this, I'm actually feeling the energy in the belly, in the diaphragm, any part of the torso that can be not only highly sensitive, but can be where we unconsciously shield ourselves. Because I'm seeing it as a shield, where if you have felt like you've been overly protective, or you had to guard against something, you might realize, wow, my belly, my torso, my diaphragm, even the womb, the breasts, all of these are energies ruled by the moon. You might realize I've been holding energy there that has become really tight, because I'm seeing it as a muscle contract that finally understands it can release itself. It's okay to let this go. It's okay to release my grip on this. And of course, massage or any kind of healing touch can be supportive of this. But I'm seeing it as something that gradually formed over the past lunar reversal time period. So again, since last March, April 2023, and you realize it's safe. I'm safe. And that is a key word with the moon, where the moon can really trust her flow, trust her instincts and herself when she knows she is safe. And there could be something here that you're ready to reprogram around emotional safety. Emotional safety that you've been holding, again, that your body has been holding, something where you might just feel your attention is brought to part of your body. So I would suggest taking a moment to quietly tune in to any areas of your physical self that are calling for your attention, and to determine if you're energetically feeling a tightness there, or if there's something within yourself that hasn't felt safe. Now, I'm really seeing the abdomen here. I'm seeing the tightness of the abs, where of course we all have our six packs that might just be a little bit invisible to the naked eye. But I'm seeing the energy of the abs and how we could have these primal instincts to check out our environment and our surroundings to determine if we're safe. And what I'm feeling, and again, these are just intuitive messages I'm downloading, so trust it if it resonates with you. And if it does not resonate, don't force it. Absolutely don't force it. But I'm feeling like there's something that our abs have been stabilizing at a core level of our being that has provided some kind of shield or armor. And with this switch in the lunar cycle, you might beautifully welcome a release. And that could be quite healthy. That could be freeing. It could be something that opens up your energy so that you're in more of that natural flow state. I'm seeing it at a muscular level where it's not just energetic. It's something that the body has been holding emotionally. Like you've had to be strong, you've had to manage things, you've had to walk in to certain areas of your life, experiences, and so on with a shield or armor or something protective. And now it's time to let that go and open up to more of the stronger feminine power of trusting yourself regardless of the environment, regardless of the situation or what you're physically experiencing. This is a return to your own deep feminine wisdom that knows you have everything you need in order to surf these waves and to move through an experience while being in that powerful mode of manifesting with this lunar flow. So I'm seeing this as a really cool reprogramming and recalibrating of our emotional wisdom that allows us to sink into deeper trust in ourselves and to walk in the world with that, to walk forward knowing that you have everything you need because you trust your internal compass, you trust your intuition, you're more aware of what you're picking up and sensing, and that is now something to embrace and to welcome in even more powerfully. And just simply owning that shifts how you move through your life on a daily basis. So from July 2024 until September 2025, as the lunar cycle is in its organic state, this is a beautiful invitation from the power of the moon for you to trust your feelings even more, for you to allow them to be a guiding force of wisdom, intelligence, self-knowingness, and self-love, and for this to return you to your own harmony with the universe, and to work with the lunar cycle from a place of cellular trust and soul knowingness that whatever is arising for you is right on time, is a beautiful message from your soul, and is showing up because it has a deep intelligence for you to trust now, even as you may require time to listen, receive, and perhaps understand the fullness of the energy or the message at hand. And the moon is a beautiful guide in contrast. So you might notice now that this feels more natural. Again, you feel the flow and the ease. And you might look back on the past number of months, about 15 months, and realize that if your emotional state was at a higher peak, or it felt like it was stronger and that you can never fully relax, well, there's wisdom in that too. And there's a lot to be gained from understanding what that experience brought out. So use the contrast here to be a wonderful way of knowing yourself better, understanding your own unconscious programming, and allowing it to be an invitation into more of your emotional space, your emotional container, and what you've been holding through these various cycles. With each new moon, it's going to feel easier to surf the waves as the energy builds to the full moon. And then we reach that climax and that turning point at the full moon that allows us to know what needs to close out or fade away because it has served its time and its purpose in order to prepare for the next new moon. So I think that more people are going to feel like they are in their natural manifestation energy. And I feel like there's going to be release and an exhale here. It could feel like you no longer have to try or exert so much energy. It could feel like now I can really own more of my feminine energy, my feminine self, because Luna is back in her natural cycle where she not only shines even brighter, but she is now synced up with more of how she's here to guide us and support us on our earthly journey. And I'm actually just making this podcast shorter today to honor my own energy and what I feel is coming through at this time. But I do invite you to check out my YouTube channel and to discover even more about your own moon sign, which is how you naturally ebb and flow through your daily life. Your moon sign is subjective. It's how you experience yourself and the world around you on a regular basis. Your moon connects to your own personal emotional container, what you feel, how you feel things, how you connect to your feelings. And it also brings up so much more, including your connection with your mother and some of your unconscious emotional imprints from birth. Also, I describe more about your moon sign in my book, Awakening Astrology. So please check that out because it's going to allow you to dive deeper into your emotional world, into what you need in order to feel like yourself, to feel safe, and to feel deeply connected to what's going on within you on a daily basis. So on that note, I am going to sign off for today, but I look forward to connecting with you again every Wednesday and Monday. And I am wishing you a beautiful journey through this lunar reset cycle. I hope, again, that you feel the relaxation and the ease that comes now with trusting more of what you're feeling and what's arising within you. You can find all of my latest offerings and courses over at mollymccord.online. Wishing you a beautiful journey through these lunar energies, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Take good care.